The United States has no policy in Afghanistan, and it hasn't had a policy in Afghanistan for quite some time. And what we're seeing now, additional 3 U.S. soldiers have been killed. We're seeing the United States go down the path of other great powers, or once great powers, such as Great Britain. Afghanistan was a graveyard of Great Britain. It was a graveyard of the Soviet Union. And now it is beginning to be the graveyard of the United States. And it's important to note that the United States did not learn from Great Britain or the Soviet Union. The United States has stayed in Afghanistan twice as long as Great Britain's foray and the Soviet Union's foray in Afghanistan. The original pretext of the Afghan invasion was to remove Osama bin Laden and the Taliban in the aftermath of the attacks of 9/11, some 18 years ago, and yet the United States presence is still there, and the United States is losing ground to the Taliban. As in Vietnam, the United States has never captured the hearts and minds of the population of Afghanistan. It installed its own regime in there, and the people of Afghanistan understands that the United States, created and aligned with the Taliban originally, just like it created ISIS as well. So the United States is on both sides of these horrible, horrible monstrosities that it creates and then ends up fighting when they get out of hands. I'd liken them as Frankenstein monsters. The United States creates these Frankenstein monsters to do its ugly work in the Middle East against nations that it is in geopolitical conflicts with. And then when these Frankenstein monsters get out of hand, then the United States has to deploy its own troops to try to clean its own mess up. And it doesn't work out very well. And until the United States becomes an honest broker in terms of geopolitics and begins to negotiate as a genuine player on the world stage instead of using these black ops operations, creating Frankenstein monsters, and then having to rely on just brute force, we're just going to see more of the same. It's almost like the definition of insanity. The United States keeps doing the same thing over again and expecting the same or a different result.